After spending a few days in Montreal exploring the city, Musk tried to come up with a long-term plan. May had family scattered all across Canada, and Musk began reaching out to them. He bought a countrywide bus ticket that let him hop on and off as he pleased for $100 and opted to head to Saskatchewan, the former home of his grandfather. After a 1,900-mile bus ride, he ended up in Swift Current, a town of 15,000 people. Musk called a second cousin out of the blue from the bus station and hitched a ride to his house. Musk spent the next year working a series of odd jobs around Canada. He tended vegetables and shoveled out grain bins at a cousin's farm located in the tiny town of Waldeck. Musk celebrated his 18th birthday there, sharing a cake with the family he'd just met and a few strangers from the neighborhood. After that, he learned to cut logs with a chainsaw in Vancouver, British Columbia. The hardest job Musk took came after a visit to the unemployment office. He inquired about the job with the best wage, which turned out to be a gig cleaning the boiler room of a lumber mill for $18 an hour. You have to put on this hazmat suit and then shimmy through this little tunnel that you can barely fit in, Musk said. Then you have a shovel, and you take the sand and goop and other residue, which is still steaming hot, and you have to shovel it through the same hole you came through. There is no escape. Someone else on the other side has to shovel it into a wheelbarrow. If you stay in there for more than 30 minutes, you get too hot and die. 30 people started out at the beginning of the week. By the third day, 5 people were left. At the end of the week, it was just Musk and 2 other men doing the work. As Musk made his way around Canada, his brother, sister, and mother were figuring out how to get there as well. When May went to Canada to check out places to live, a 14-year-old Tosca seized the moment and put the family house in South Africa up for sale. She had sold my car as well and was in the midst of putting our furniture up for sale too, May said. When I got back, I asked her why. She said, "There is no need to delay. We are getting out of here." When Kimball and Elon eventually reunited in Canada, their headstrong, playful natures bloomed. Elon ended up enrolling at Queen's University in Kingston, Ontario, in 1989. He picked Queen's over the University of Waterloo because he felt there were more good-looking women at Queen's. Outside of his studies, Elon would read the newspaper alongside Kimball, and the two of them would identify interesting people they would like to meet. They then took turns cold calling these people to ask if they were available to have lunch. Among the harassed was the head of marketing for the Toronto Blue Jays baseball team, a business writer for the Globe and Mail, and a top executive at the Bank of Nova Scotia, Peter Nicholson. Nicholson remembered the boys' call well. "I was not in the habit of getting out-of-the-blue requests," he said. "I was perfectly prepared to have lunch with a couple of kids that had that kind of gumption." It took 6 months to get on Nicholson's calendar, but sure enough, the Musk brothers made a 3-hour train ride and showed up on time. Nicholson's first exposure to the Musk brothers left him with an impression many would share. Both presented themselves well and were polite. Elon, though, clearly came off as the geekier, more awkward counterpoint to the charismatic, personable Kimball. "I became more impressed and fascinated as I talked to them," Nicholson said. "They were so determined." Nicholson ended up offering Elon a summer internship at the bank and became his trusted advisor. Not long after their initial meeting, Elon invited Peter Nicholson's daughter, Christy, to his birthday party. Christy showed up at May's Toronto apartment with a jar of homemade lemon curd in hand and was greeted by Elon and about 15 other people. Elon had never met Christy before, but he went right up to her and led her to a couch. Then I believe the second sentence out of his mouth was, "I think a lot about electric cars."